So I know mostly up until this point, I've talked about the negatives of the trading card community and how there's a lot of people out there that are just trying to take advantage of others, right? But today I wanted to share a story about part of my collection and how there's a lot of good and kind-hearted people out there, which is also why I love the hobby. I started the hobby mostly around the same time I lost my cat. I think for the most part, I guess for me, it was more of a coping mechanism. And I just wanted to find some sort of, I guess, hobby to fill my time since I guess not having her in our household sort of left like an empty spot. And I guess I just wanted to find something to do in the house. And I guess for me, the card hobby was a good hobby to be in because there was a lot of things I could do and just fill my time. I could collect the cards, I could buy them, I could sell them, I could trade them, and it just felt like there's a lot I could do in it, and it could consume a lot of my time, and just I could just keep busy. In hindsight, when I think about it, I guess it kind of makes sense, and it probably was just a coping mechanism where I guess when she was sick and we had her in a different room, I just needed something to fill in the time. I guess whether it's through hobbies of building model kits or just collecting trading cards, selling it, and just starting up these hobbies just to fill the time. I guess that was just my way of coping. And I guess I've always collected trading cards as a child. I had like the base set Pokemon cards. I had some Magic the Gathering cards. I had a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, which is, I guess, kind of why I gravitated towards this hobby for the most part, as well as building model kits. Because I guess I just seek some sort of comfort when it came to part of my childhood, I guess. And the part of my collection that I want to share with you today, and I want to share the story about, is this Soulmates card right here. And I guess this is kind of also a little bit therapeutic for me to share this story as well too, because when all this happened, I guess I didn't really want to be upset about whatever happened because my wife is already upset about it to begin with and she didn't know how to deal with it. So I guess I kind of just tried to find my own way and just, I guess, dealing with these feelings. And the interesting part about this card is there's actually two versions of this card where there's the Soulmates version that doesn't have a cat, and then the Soulmates version with the cat that kind of looks like Pusheen, which I think is why later on they changed what it looked like and why there's two different versions of it. And a little bit of information about the card. The card is actually from something called a mystery booster box, where it's from something called the convention edition. There's two versions of it, right? The original one and the 2021 version. There's a price difference between them, and then the main difference to how to tell the difference for most of the cards is the planeswalker symbol on the bottom left corner, whereas on the newer reprint one they don't have it. And then all the cards are pretty much the same except this one Soulmates card, which has a different picture on it as opposed to just having the Planeswalker symbol difference. And again, I think it's because they removed the cap because it looked like the cap pushing, which is, I think, copyrighted, which is why they had to change it up. And the second version does not have the cat. And I honestly cannot even tell you how I even came across this card or why it even caught my interest to begin with. And the weird story behind it is when I kind of try to recall it, it's kind of foggy to me, I guess, because a lot of stuff was going on at the time. And I believe I came across this card, and the person who traded it to me and gave this card to me also, I think it was roughly on the same day that we decided, to make an appointment to go to the vet to, you know, have her, go to sleep. And the story behind it is, I guess, I somehow came across this card and then I was like, I don't know, I guess I somehow found some sort of attachment to it as well as at the same time going through like the whole last couple months with her. I started going into the hobbies and just kind of just spending my time in them. And then when I came across this card, I guess at the same time I made the phone call, I just grew some sort of attachment to it. And I don't know what kind of weird thing was going on psychologically that I guess I grew an attachment. And I was like, okay, this would be pretty cool to have. And this is the part that I want to highlight where there's a lot of good people in the community. At the time, I think I was in part of the Magic the Gathering group where I was asking about this card, and I was just like, you know what, I'm looking for this card, and if possible, would anyone have it? And then if you actually look on TCG Player, this card actually at some point, I guess someone was trying to stonks it up and was going for like $300-400, and I was like, all right, as much as I want, I don't think I'm gonna pay these prices for it. And for me, I was just like, I'm just looking for this card because I'm just trying to, I guess, cope with the passing of my cat, and people were very, very, very nice about it. I actually had a lot of people reach out to me to just help me find the card, and there was no people trying to scalp me for it. No one trying to like sell it to me for like hundreds of dollars. It was just like, oh, okay, whatever the price was originally. I think at like, let me look, like, I don't know, like under 100 or whatever it is, and then you know people were very nice about it, and they helped me find a card. Like, even after I found the card, people were reaching out to me asking me, oh, did you manage to get it, and did someone help you with it? I'm like, and I thanked everyone in the community for being so helpful about it. And that's just one of the things I kind of really, really want to highlight. I know I talk a lot about, like, there's a lot of bad people in the community, there's a lot of people that are just trying to take advantage of others. But I really think, like, when it comes to, I guess, I don't want to be, you don't want to be too cynical of a person. And I guess it's very hard not to be cynical sometimes when maybe a lot of bad things are happening in your life, whether it's a job or something else going on in your life. And it might make you become a very cynical person. But that's why I always try to tell people, hey, you know what, there's goods and bad sides to everything. And I try to project that. And there's honestly a lot of good people out there, and then there's a lot of good people in these collecting communities too, and I really, really want to highlight that, especially in cases where, like, even in white shorts, for example, where when I wanted to look for something that's completely unrelated to this, right, if when I wanted to look for something, there were people out there that were like, oh, okay, let me try to look for you, people messaging me saying, hey, you know what, did you find that card yet? I saw someone else selling this, you might want to check it out. And that's the good parts that we want to look at, right? We want to look at, all the great people that are out there, the great people that you could call friends, as opposed to, I guess, sometimes it might be really, really easy to focus on all the negatives. And I kind of had to turn off my camera after the start because I guess just thinking about it kind of makes me feel a little bit emotional. And these are kind of things I kind of want to share, and I might make a couple more videos in regards to parts of my collection, because I think this is the part of the hobby that I really, really enjoy. Well, not the fact that this was a horrible time in my life, but the part of my hobby that I really, really want to highlight is when we collect some of these things. It's not whether, I guess I have to remember, and we have to remember, that it's not always about, oh, how much a card costs. This might be something that's like a couple of dollars. It might be something that's like worth $200-300 or whatever it is. I think sometimes it's more about the memories that we gain from collecting some of these things. It might be a certain time of your life, it might be a certain memory associated with the card, whether it's with your friends, your family. And when I feel like I pick up some of these items and I look back at some parts of my collection like this, I remember just certain memories come back, even no matter how, I guess, deeply buried these feelings are. I guess when I see some of these cards, I just remember, like, oh, you know, this was a certain time in my life. And I think that's something really cool about the hobby, when you could attach these memories with certain items. But yeah, I won't ramble on too much about this one. I guess this is just, I was just looking through my collection, and this was just something I wanted to share, as well as I guess I want to bring some sort of positive outside of always pointing out the negatives when it comes to, these collecting things. And the part that I wanted to highlight was that, to some people, maybe it was just like a cardboard, it was a transaction, but to me at that time, at that point in my life, at that moment in my life, this meant a lot to me. And for whatever reason, right, it meant a lot to me. And it also meant a lot to me that there are so many people out there that were willing to try to help me find this card. And, you know, sometimes you just don't realize how much just small acts of kindness could impact other people's lives, which is kind of why I make it a point when I talk about a lot of these things in my videos, where I emphasize you just want to be kind to other people, and you just don't want to take advantage of other people, because you don't know what other people are going through, you know. And we just have to remember that. And to me, the people that reached out to me, the people that helped me, even on something so insignificant on the surface, it meant the world to me. So I guess the next time, if I, pick up something and it jogs my memory, maybe I'll continue to share these stories if they're worth sharing. But thank you for watching. I hope you all have a great day. And just remember, the time you have with your loved ones, whether it's a pet or family members or anything in general, remember that time is finite. And, in some cases, you don't want to wait until it's too late to regret when it comes to these things. And you just want to take advantage of every single second that you have here, and every single second you have with the people that you share your lives with. Thank you. Take care.